Good morning.
How's it going, everybody? Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening Show, everyone. Today is March 3rd, 2022. It's a big day in the Sandbox as Alpha Season 2 has been running now for 11 hours. And some of you may have been playing in the space. Maybe you've experienced the 3 experiences that have unlocked on day 1. Folks, good morning, afternoon, and evening. If you're watching right now in the Asia Pacific region, it may be March 4th, 2022, right now for you. Good morning. Good morning to India. Good morning to the people in Israel right now. We'll give them a shout out today. Good morning to Ethiopia right now. Good morning to the Danish right now, as it is probably about 5 a.m. there. Maybe 4, right? It's March 4th, where night is here joining us on youtube.com. But it's 6:07 p.m. my local time here, where Rad Condad's Little Puppers is.
They're
all right,
running about under me here. It's
a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, Conrad. I'm excited, folks. It's been a couple of days. It's been a couple of days since Rad Condad has joined us on a live stream. I'm excited to have him back. Feeling a little bit better. Had some.
It's been an experience, Joe. It really has been.
Yeah.
I've had to take a week off from life, unfortunately. As you can see, I'm a little disheveled. I normally get my haircut done at the beginning of the month and get this beard trimmed up a little bit. And you don't see me in my regular
little trim.
I need a little trim so bad.
You know what?
And
It's
doing okay. I'm a little mountain manish right now.
Doing all right. You're doing all right. It's nice to see you, friends. If this is your first time joining us, because you're here to get yourself an Alpha Season 2 Alpha Pass. Don't worry, we're going to do a giveaway for that later on in this live stream, so stick with us. It's a good time. If you're watching later over on youtube.com and you're not live with us here on twitch.tv, you're not live with us at twitter.com/thesandboxgame or any of our other live stream platforms. If you're watching later on YouTube and you're wondering to yourself, how can I get in on these past giveaways? Well, there's loads of different ways you can do that, but the official live stream is yet just another. So we've got you here, 2 a.m. UTC. Convert that to your local time and join us on a live show anytime. Got a lot of lovely folks in the chat who may have some questions. So if you've got questions about the alpha throughout the duration of this live stream, we'll answer those questions live. Or you may have questions about our asset creation software, VoxEdit,
right?
The Game Maker tool. Maybe you've got general questions about the play to earn economy, or you've got questions about staking at the Sandbox game. We'll answer all those questions as they come in live here on this show. Rad Condad is here to help keep me in shape and get those questions so that I don't miss any, because I'm excited. We're jumping right into the alpha.
But we're getting right into it.
We're gonna get right into it. Absolutely. We're gonna cover we don't have any news today. You know, this is the news right here.
No, this is just it. This is it. It's just Q&A and just a good time.
Diving right in, having fun in the Sandbox game.
Though, Joe, if you could do me a quick favor, it's going to bug somebody in the chat. I know it because it's already bugging me. I got my green screen just a little off today. And you all can see my lighting off a little bit. But of course, I wasn't even planning on being here today, but I'm feeling good.
I see
It's Alpha Day 1. Season 2.
You want me to just crop that little sliver out of there?
Just give me that. Give me that out of there. Bye. There we go.
There we go. We're cleaned up.
Here.
Cleaned up. We're good to go. We're good to go, Don. All right.
If you guys have questions and you want us to particularly peek them out, try and put question in front of it with a little colon. It makes it easier for me to find them there. So there's going to be a lot of banter as we go about.
That's a good idea. All right. Noah Mars says, why can't we submit the first day challenge through Twitter or the Sandbox contest page? Is somebody working on it? Let's have a look here. I'm going to go to the contest page because I haven't submitted to that, and we'll see if we can see what you're seeing. All right. I got to do a custom image.
There's been some updating day.
I got to do it. I got to do it correctly. All right. So the season day 1 selfie with the season 2 alpha pass. The first thing to note about this contest platform, folks, is as we are in alpha and we're just getting started with this brand new software edition, there may be a couple of technical hiccups as we implement it and continue to work with it. That is kind of part of the process of any alpha. Inherently with alpha softwares, alpha dashboards, and those sorts of things, the term alpha means that the work is incomplete, that there's still more work to be done. So part of these seasonal plays, while you can play to earn, it's also a test that we're working together. And rather than us just test it in-house internally and shut everybody out, we open it up. We like to involve the community in the process. So of course your feedback, as Noah Mar is asking right now, super important. I definitely agree. We want to make sure that it's functional, and then we want to continue to improve it. We've made lots of changes since Alpha Season 1. This is a new edition, so we may need to make some changes to it as we continue to work through the season. And you may see those results as well. So Backspace suggests...
How early can we be than an alpha, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And this is alpha number 2. There will be multiple alpha tests. So, we've got more planned with more features that will roll out throughout the rest of the year. Really, loads of different tests and works and improvements and adjustments that we will make to the Sandbox game thanks to feedback from the community. And we've got lots of internal QA teams, so we can test it to the best of our abilities. But there's no better way to test anything than to say, okay, yeah, we had 100 people test it. We had 250 people test it. But we have over 2 million people registered to the Sandbox game right now. So if all those people are
for it.
Exactly. Like you go exponential for how many people can test it. And of course, naturally, and this is good, we're going to find some things that need to be worked on, and we'll work on them and move forward. So thank you, Noah. Backspace suggests try a few times. I only did it on my second try, so that's good. But let's see. The actual day 1 is take a selfie with the Season 2 Alpha Pass. So in order to do that, I'm going to open up the Sandbox Alpha, and I'm going to go into the main hub. And right as soon as I spawn, the Alpha 2 Season Pass is right in front of me. Features DJ Blondish and the World of Women on the asset. Says March 2022. So let's get loaded into an instance and start hanging out with you guys in the metaverse. Gotta log in here. Gotta log in here, Joe. Let's go. Here we go.
Don't worry, folks. I am currently writing down some of your questions as we go through. It's Joe's getting in here. First of all, if you're having troubles with those Twitter contests today, make sure you're hitting Control-5, refreshing that cache, and trying to get back into that as we move on and those forums get filled out. Lots of people are trying to get in there.
Yes, and that's true. It may be that you have some older data from the page if you've been working with it, from the beginning of the day. A web browser doesn't necessarily automatically give you the newest or most relevant data, so we talk about this a lot, and this is a thing, in the Web3 space sometimes. So you press Control F5, and that's going to automatically give you a new, complete set of data that is the newest and most relevant. Now, user Vlad, our team, asks over on YouTube a good question here. It says, so will the Alpha Pass from Season 1 work for Season 2? So Season 2's Alpha Pass is the only way to get sand tokens. But Season 1's Alpha Pass does have utility in this alpha. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to get myself a little screenshot. Hanging out over here next to Azimuth. All right. I'm going to do a little emote. I got to burn the floor down, all right? I got to burn the floor.
Oh, yeah. Tear it down, Joe.
And then I'm going to get myself a screenshot. Okay. I'm hanging out. Make sure Azimuth gets in there. And then let's get that saved if I can. I pressed Win Shift S in order to get a quick screenshot. And let's open it up. Save as screenshot in my pictures. There we go. And we'll go back to the website. I'm going to hit participate. I'm going to hit browse and go back to pictures and take this screenshot and open it. And here we go. So we'll upload the screenshot. Got my screenshot. Got my tweet. All right. Everything's good to go. I'll reply tweet. completed, 1 contest entry earned. That simple. If you're having an issue with that, just make sure you do get that page refreshed. And now I'm eligible to win the daily social contest. And these 5 days are built into the pool for the first draw. So the draw will happen once a week. It'll be ready for Thursday. And then on Thursday, the winners will be having their eligibility up here. So you may see an email come in that tells you that you won. Make sure you're only... don't click on links in the email necessarily, because you don't have to. That's the best recommendation that I can leave for people when we're talking about claiming the Alpha Pass. If you get an email that says that you won, you don't have to click any links in that email to claim that pass. You can come over here to the website at sandbox.game, click contests, and there will be this button will be bright blue. It says claim S2 Alpha Pass. Maybe it's green. I forget. I think it's blue. I did it just yesterday, but you know, what was the color? I don't know, Joe. So, so we get that claimed, and then you just asked a second ago, what is the, how does Season 1 Alpha Pass affect this season? So if you still own Season 1 Alpha Pass and you still have it in the wallet with your account at sandbox.game, then you'll get an additional 130 raffle tickets toward contests similar to this one. There's another raffle ticket award here. So 313 raffle tickets I've earned so far by various means. Those raffle tickets coming in from quests I've completed. I haven't got level 1 finished yet. Nobody should today, not yet. Tomorrow, lots of people are going to get level 1 finished. You can get some sand from M Sand staking. This will slowly tick upward toward the 200 minute to minute based on how much stake you have. Did the calculation earlier today, and it was about a quarter of a quarter of a ticket per hour. I think that was what the math was, right?
Yeah.
If you had 400 M Sand stake.
I got a little copy paste for you here.
There we go. Here we go. Rad Condon's got it. So we got that. And then, of course, you got the Snoop Dogg Private Party Pass, the Early Access Pass. Those give you tickets as well. That's Season 1 Alpha Pass. Land ownership, based on the lands in your wallet, in the wallet of that account. And this wallet has 1 land in it that I'm using to design the social hub for the metaverse right now, for the Wizzyverse, I should say. But land caps at 5 per wallet, so you can get up to 200 tickets. And then a Season 1 feedback form. If you joined us for Season 1 and you finished the feedback form when it was requested there on the Discord, then you'd be part of this. You're getting the additional 10, right? Going back here, you can get more raffle tickets by completing 10 quests. So today, people have been asking already, and I may be getting ahead of Conrad's question sheet already.
You are, yeah, 100%.
People have been asking, hey, I have 6 quest points, or I got 2 quests done, where are more, etc., right? So you can get up to 6 quest points today. And on the website, if you click the play section, you can see exactly how and where you have or have not finished your quests. When you highlight the portal hub right here, earlier today, I completed the 1 quest, which was a quest about like essentially number and color matching. It was a small puzzle, real quick. I didn't complete the 2nd quest, which was go pick up 25 voxelite, which are like these floating ores that are kind of out in the space as in like a seek and find kind of adventure quest. So in the multiplayer hubs, largely, you're going to have quests similar to those. When you get into single player experiences, like we're going to start with tomorrow, the single player experiences are going to have much more in-depth questing to them, and a considerably larger number. So we can see the alpha lobby. I did 1 out of 2 quests there as well. And then in the Club XYZ, we were just hanging out, listening to the music of DJ Blondish and giving great AMA support earlier today. So I didn't get any of those done. I'd like to get a chance to finish them here on this live stream today. But
no, we had a second for a nap and then right back on it.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. I was streaming for 4 hours this morning. We did a giveaway as soon as we kicked off. We were hanging out here for like 2 hours while all the CDNs were getting their updates all around the world. We were getting everything issued, ready to go. And then I was offline for like 10 minutes and the devs were like, we're good. We're live. We're up. It's global and it's all working. And I was like, oh, and I rushed back, got myself a drink, like a little iced tea. And I was like, all right, let's go. Let's party. Because it was time to play. And we had a good time. So Rat Condat, as we're hanging out here, listen to me yak. What's some of those AMAs going on?
Yeah. So you already answered some of the questions about the quests and how there's only 6 available today.
Yes.
And the rest of them, are they all going to open up tomorrow?
So
what do we got? When are the rest of those quests actually open up?
Sure. So you can see if you're on the website and you click on the alpha and then you click the play tab at the top, you can highlight each one of the spaces that's inside this blue box, right? The blue box represents the full scope of the alpha right now. And you can see when you highlight them, each one of them has a different release date. So tomorrow, this single player experience, Hidden Village, will unlock. And you can see it says not visited for me, of course, because we're not open yet. 0 out of 11 quests completed. So you can track how many quests you've done. And if you miss anything when you leave, you can go back and complete that quest that you might have missed. And then we can also see another multiplayer experience will open up tomorrow. This one's a fun, like rooftop, sort of urban setting where everybody can hang out in the space together. This one will be similar to, the space that we have in the Club XYZ, but a little bit different. It's got some fashion shows and, kind of showcasing the variety of things that you can do when you're creating a social experience. Maybe you're basing it around music videos, or you're basing it around fashion, that sort of thing. And you want to showcase your arts. The rooftop a la mode is going to be a good example of that. It's a big party, essentially. And that one will also come out tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, being a Friday, that's releasing. You can see the release date schedule. This is 0500. I believe that's my time. 1 p.m. UTC is the typical time. So you may see when you click on this experience, down on the bottom right, it shows the timeline. And typically, this 5 a.m. time slot for Joe is 1 p.m. UTC. For the rest of the folks. So
right.
Hey, Danny. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Moving on here. I still got my list. Don't worry. Right. DJ EJ asked, can I send Matic to my Venly wallet for staking? Is that a possibility?
Venly wallet, as long as a wallet, any wallet, whether it's Venly, it's MetaMask or whatnot, has support for layer 2 integration, meaning you can add other networks. You'll want to add the Polygon network to your wallet so that you can access it, manage it while you're there, right? And I'm grabbing the voxelite as we're kind of talking here, so people can understand. Maybe they missed this quest.
Keep rolling.
So we had, as long as you can support the Polygon network on a wallet, then you're good to go, and you'll be able to manage all of those things. So it doesn't matter if it's Venly or it's MetaMask or it's your ledger. Something like that, as long as there's a portal that you can access it on the page, or you can use it with a web browser, and then at the same time you can
I feel like this one is going to be asked quite a lot, as I've already seen it, and I know candidly Kristen's answered it a lot. Kristen, sorry, and over there on D Live, you got to be careful what you say because it stays, but otherwise, folks, if you are staking right now to get your tickets, they're going to start accumulating over time. You don't have to unstake. You don't have to remove it. The tickets will start appearing. It's just a slow go if you don't got a lot, because it's 2-to-1 ratio. Don't forget,
yes.
If it's going to be 200. If you have 200 sand in there, it's 7 tickets per hour, per day. Sorry. And then if we move on here,
is it?
It's 7+, because it's like.
You sure that's 200? I can't remember. I'm trying to think.
No, if you have 400. Hey, either way,
you would get 400 if you had 400 M sand, you will over the duration of the 28 days accumulate
400 M sand
200 total tickets. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you had less than 400, then you'll accumulate less than over the duration of the 28 days, less than the 200 total tickets. But you're still ticking upward. So you can actually see right now, I have an example of this up because it's come up a lot, actually. I have over 14,500 M sand that's in the pool currently. And if I go to my rewards, I can see my total raffle tickets. And I can see that I've so far accumulated 134. And I staked this before the alpha was even live. So the second that it could start ticking up, it did. But, you know, a person might think, hey, and I've seen it a lot. They'd be like, well, I staked 400. Why doesn't it already say 200? Well, just know that it's going to accumulate over time. That's why the tooltip here says you stake during the whole duration of season 2, 28 days. Then you can get quick, 200 tickets. Yes.
We gotta go ahead and skip ahead to a question from Vlad here. He's curious and a bit frustrated about why the season 1 alpha pass is not being able to be used for the season 2 alpha pass when it is. We're getting those tickets to get the raffle for the season 2 alpha pass. You aren't being restricted from getting any of the tickets in here other than owning that pass. It gives you those extra 130.
Yeah, and I think one thing to notice, or to note rather, is that in season 1, you know, there was registered then, I think it was roughly like 1 million people had registered for the website, and only 5,000 people could get the alpha pass. Now in season 1, some content was restricted from users. In season 1, you could only play, I think, 5 experiences out of the 20 or 25 that we had then, right? And how it's different now is that you don't need an alpha pass in order to participate in all the fun, right? In order to play all these levels, enjoy the sandbox, maybe get inspiration for your creations in the Game Maker, you have full unmitigated access to the metaverse during this test, whether you have a pass or not. And the only thing that defines the season 2 pass is the ability to earn from that play. So if you are lucky enough to win that season pass, to get that reward, then you'll start to have these unlock automatically, which is the sand token allocations for your level. So another great change that we made was that in the previous season, if you did get an alpha pass, after you got the pass, you'd have to go and do all those quests. So there were people who got that alpha pass in the last week, and they had to go back and redo everything. Whereas in this case, you can see here on the website that the website remembers I've done 2 out of my 10 quests. Even though I didn't complete the level, it's still remembering. And there in the top right, it also shows the same.
Got it.
So this is working similar to what a conventional battle pass might do, except that we're giving away the passes for free. So we doubled the number of passes that we'll give away. But critically, to your point, the Alpha Season 1 winners shouldn't necessarily just automatically be the people who get the reward for participation, right? In the interest of fairness, you want everybody to have a chance. So that's where we are here.
Right.
We give people
win a Season 2 pass with 1 ticket.
That's right.
Don't forget.
That's right. That's a good point. So you're getting 130 entry tickets, giving you, you know, I mean, it's impossible to get to 1,100 tickets if you didn't have a Season 1 Alpha Pass, you know. So your maximum number of tickets are now possible because you participated in Season 1, because you still have that NFT. And it is, in its own right, a collectible as well. So it's worth holding on to, in my opinion. I'm keeping it because it says I was there, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm keeping mine. And, you know, if you got your Season 1 Alpha Pass, that means you got your dragon, you got your sword.
That's right.
You got your gate, and you're playing with that content
there it is.
already.
There it is.
Got it. Don't worry about it.
All right. So,
as we continue on, there's going to be a million questions today. We're not going to stop talking. And if I just randomly do stop talking, it's for a very important reason, and I'll probably go AWOL. But no worries about that.
All right. Yeah, like, you know, I mean, Conrad's a trooper. I just want to throw it out there real quick as we're addressing these. So you're just a champion right now, because if it was me, if I was a lesser man, you know, I'd be like, man, I'm not feeling well. You're like, no, it's Alpha Day. I don't care.
It's Alpha Day. We got to go.
Let's go.
We got to do this. We got to do this. No problem, Vlad. We want to make sure that there is no animosity for you. We're going to make sure everything's clear. If you guys ever have any questions, try and reach out. But as we continue on, Amazingly Rewarded asks, question, how can you submit voxel creations for approval? This is an age-old one.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, real quick, though.
Yes.
hate to continue to interrupt you here. What instance are you in here? I'm not actually playing at the moment, unfortunately, folks, because I've got my 4 screens here. I'm reading different chats. I've got everybody up, and I'm trying to make sure to get everybody paid attention to. And that means you, Kitty, don't worry. I can see your tweet there.
Right. 25.
Where are we at now?
18.
25, 205.
205. 18. That's where we're at right now. What's up?
Boom.
How are you?
Oh.
What's up? There. Wow, Hulk.
Wow. Hulk.
It's the Hulk. Look at that.
Not copyrighted. Is there a way to turn off or minimize the in-game chat? It eats too much of the screen, says Randuxy.
There isn't. It's automatically minimizing, as you can see here, as I'm kind of running around this space. But if you, that's good feedback. I believe there's already a version in place that's not completely finished right now that has a scrollable chat that is minimizable because this is something that we have discussed internally quite a bit. But wow, I'm already at 35 out of 40 voxel art. I might actually get this while we're going here.
You're rushing through it. Right now,
to be fair, I already know where
this is downloadable. You all can hop in here right now.
That's right, completely free. Don't worry about that. Hey, King of Crypto, what's up, King of Crypto? How are you doing today?
What up? I love that mohawk.
Great job, Tommy. Look at that. Great job, Tommy. One of our contest winners in the Alpha Season 1. I remember. Great job, Tommy. Being just an MVP speedster. I mentioned this on the earlier stream. All right, so what's up? What we got next, Conrad? We got some great questions going on.
Touche's got us in the stream team. I was going to get to this one here in a second. Right. We do have somebody on Twitter having some issues with the duplication of some quests here.
Sure.
It's as if some people can do Twitter contests beforehand, but it seems like it's just an internal issue, as far as I'm aware, that's being solved.
Just to the point of all the Twitter contests and that sort of thing. So the website itself is what allows us to we integrated it directly with the website, and you saw me just at the top of the show instantly do the contest. I saved it for this show so you guys can see how it works. It's fairly straightforward. So I got 1 contest entry earned for clicking participate here and uploading a screenshot in front of the Season 2 Alpha Pass in the Alpha lobby. This automatically replies to the appropriate thread, and it's in there: 1 entry, 1 account, 1 wallet, right? Pretty straightforward with the interest of fairness. So if you're having an issue with this particular page, then you may have old data on the page. I recommend pressing Control F5. A user in the chat reported, they had to try it twice, but it worked. And if you're having an issue with it going over and maybe it's not working, maybe you tried it once, you tried it twice, just give it some time because we also have DDoS measures to make sure that we're not getting botted, we're not getting attacked or whatever, right? So that there is space for the users to compete. So give it a little bit of time. Don't just try to hit it over and over and over. Give it, 10 minutes or something, and give it another shot. But once again, make sure you press Control F5 so you get the most relevant real-time data, and then submit to that. But I did it. It was pretty straightforward on the screen, on the stream here. I saved it for you. I have no special permissions with regards to that. I'm just like you, hanging out. You can see that I did it here, and you can go back on VOD, and I think it was about 20 minutes ago.
That's right. And once again, we got it from Mikhail this time. Hey, Joe, I filled out the Alpha Season 1 feedback form, and I didn't receive the 10 raffle tickets.
Okay. One note that I would say is when you filled out that form, there's a chance maybe you've made some changes to your account. Maybe you've made a change to your wallet. Some examples, and I don't know if this is the case, maybe I'm wrong about this with regards to you specifically, but this happens all the time, where a user might have been using a social hub wallet, right? What's up? How are you? So you might have been using a social wallet. I called it a social hub wallet for some reason, but a social wallet, which is you logged in with your Google account or something. And the wallet is always the actual account, not the email address, not the password, but the wallet itself. So if you filled out a form with your wallet and you made that you can go back to that account and you'll see that you'll have 10 entries because that's what you filled out on the form. You said, I have this wallet, I have this email, right? And it'll always be associated with that. So it happens all the time where people will say, I was on Bitsky, I switched to Venly, or I was on Venly and I switched to MetaMask. And so if that's the case, then just know that that original wallet would have it. Otherwise, if you filled it out on Discord, there was a time-based constraint to that form before that data was recorded. I think it was like a week. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while, but that was... otherwise, if you're sure you did it and you're sure you did it on time, then send me a DM and we'll try to get it sorted out for you. I'm not totally sure that we can because there's a lot going on all at once, but maybe in the middle of the alpha or something, maybe it automatically fixes, but we'll try to sort it out. Looks like Ninja Turtle. Ninja Turtle.
There's always going to be some crinkles. Don't worry, folks. It's an alpha.
It's true.
Everything's getting updated constantly.
All right.
And here we go. Hectum says, help. Can you no longer export assets as body parts, head, feet? It just keeps saying legacy template.
That is true. Editor? The avatar system is changing. Avatar, yeah. But I love this.
Oh,
I love this.
Is that also why, I can link this to a different question, why can't I use my doggy? Wilson really just...
So you can't use your doggy yet, but that was always going to be the case. So we had announced that the doggies will be usable about halfway through this alpha. As part of this alpha test is implementing the new features like that. And that's the core thing about any alpha as you go in. I'll probably say this a couple of times today, but the alpha definitively means the product is incomplete, right? We haven't finished developing the game client or we haven't finished developing the game software. You're noticing today that Mac users can play for the first time. Right? We didn't have a Mac client until today for the public. So we'll do the same thing with the avatars. Once that avatar feature is out for the Doggies 10K project, you can replace your avatar that isn't an NFT with an avatar that is an NFT, the doggy itself. And then that's going to evolve into other projects getting their NFT iterations as we go. So you may have also seen the Artifact group, right? Artifact, now owned by Nike, they have a 10K or a 20K project with the CloneX platform, and they're getting a voxelized interpretation without needing an additional NFT. It's just a representation that goes in the Sandbox game of their original work. So that'll come in. So there's a lot of things going on, but just once again, remind that it's an alpha and things will change. They will upgrade halfway through. Yeah. Rad Condan, what you got, friend?
Once again, if you're struggling with those Twitter contests, folks, try and get those caches reset. And with the continued issue that Kitty was having with the Twitter, don't worry. We've got people looking all over these things, and stuff is being updated. And don't forget, guys, put question in front of your questions here so I can poke them out real quick, because there's a lot of people chatting.
There we go.
Because there's
a lot of people going on in the chat for sure. That's really important. So if you want a question answered and you're not just like being hype and being excited, if you're being hype and excited in the chat, we love it. We love to see it. We want to see a lot of Mac users, as promised, says Mac users, JK, LOL, right? So that kind of a comment that I can read and we can enjoy and we can have fun with that, right? And the chat can read it. You can enjoy it on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. But if you have an important question that for some reason we keep missing, just put the word question in front of it so that Conrad can catch that real quick. All right. RNG on tap asks a question here. I'm gonna while you're looking for something new. It says, any idea why my game crashes while loading? I've updated my graphics drivers. RNG on tap, if you're having an issue with your game crashing, it may be, and I don't know, I'm not sure where you are around the world, what services you might use, but you may be having an issue where you can't connect to the server. Some users have reported in the previous alpha or in this alpha, for a variety of reasons, that maybe it's Wi-Fi reliability not so good. Maybe it's you're using a VPN and loads of people are using your VPN, so our CDNs might think that we're being DDoS, and that's a lot of terminology. Content deployment network servers all over the world. DDoS is a denial of service attack where, we assume that like we're being hacked, we're being attacked, So there's all sorts of possibilities that could be affecting that, but principally it's usually something to do with your internet. If you have another reason, then you can send in on the Discord in support. You can like send us, if you can, your like spec sheet, and maybe there's something in there that I can pull out and go like, oh yeah, it could be this. But for the most part, we've seen it perform very well on a variety of different kinds of systems. Typically recommending like an i5 processor to manage that, and at least a GT 760 graphics card. That's, I think, the lowest end that I've heard is performing decently with the Game Maker or the client here. Is it a Mac?
Right.
Yeah, Macintosh. Some people are reporting issues today, but we saw a lot of good stability with that client. But of course, we're scaling it up, right? We're taking it from testing with hundreds of people to testing with millions. So it may be that you're experiencing some issues, and all feedback is important, and we may issue a hotfix patch at any time. All right, look at the party up here.
I love this. This is fantastic. But moving on, can you use a controller, a wireless controller? Says Keenan. So this is in reference to a really nifty Twitter post that was done today. Yes. I want to say that they were using a program called DS4 Windows.
I believe that is the case. First of all, it's memes. All right. Elden Ring.
There we go. I love it.
Alpha Season 2.
I love it.
You got it. You got it, Doc.
Right there.
Okay, so let's let me see if I can find this here. Here we go. So Metaverse 7 hours ago posted this video. All right. And you can clearly see the controller working with this. And I'm sure you're right, Conrad. So cover what you think is going on here.
I really do, because the DS4 Windows, it allows you to remap a PS4 controller into being an Xbox controller and tricking out your PC because it doesn't have native control, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get that to just be the various keys, and you can comfortably make it so the analog stick is WASD. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. I think that's the case. I think you could do the same thing with the... Now, I guess how it's different is that an Xbox controller, whether it's a 360 controller, an Xbox Series X controller, and anywhere in between, I don't think that those necessarily will remap in the same way, because critically, the DS4 Windows app, which, this isn't official support for it, but this is just understanding kind of what's happening here, does allow full remapping. It's, the app itself is saying, hey, how sensitive do you want these joysticks and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's what's going on here. But yeah, so Metaverse says it may work just through Bluetooth. So we'll see. You can give it a shot. Have some fun.
There's
officially speaking,
fun stuff happening.
We don't have support for it, but unofficially speaking, this is what alphas are for, right? It's playing, it's play testing. We talk about all the time on this show. It's breaking things on purpose. Go break it. Tell us what broke. Let's fix it together.
Right. We are aware of the Twitter issues. Don't worry. Just Control 5 on those pages. Try and clear those caches. And we can help you guys out there as much as possible. And things will probably get hot fixed on that end. What's your instance again there, Joe?
I see Bruce in NY. I'd like to answer that question, by the way.
Yes. What do we got? At what time every day do new quests open?
Sure. So the question, Bruce in NY, if you go over to the website at sandbox.game and you click the alpha button, it'll automatically take you to this play section and find the space that releases tomorrow. And you can see Hidden Village right above the alpha lobby here. It says it's a single player experience, release date 4th March. When I click it, it says 4th March 2022 at 0500 hours, or 5 in the morning, my local time. Now, I believe and I could be wrong about this, but I believe this is configured to automatically convert it to my local time. So help me out, chat, if you know that this is true. If you're looking at this page right now and you see that it says 7 a.m. because you live in Ohio, help me out. Let me know. If it's the same, if it says 0500, then that will tell me something different and I can give a more complete answer here. But this is, my understanding is that this is at 1 p.m. UTC. Okay.
Vox Editor, if you do miss a couple days, you can always go back. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can go back and do these quests later. This is just a timer for when they do unlock. The one thing that you can't go back and do later is the contests. So the daily contests, when they open, will only be open for the day. So if you may miss the opportunity to dance with Blondish in the club XYZ tomorrow. But if you do, okay, you miss a day. We got 28 days. You know what I mean? Multiple different contest weeks, rather. I should put it that way. Until such a time as the contest ends here. It says claim your pass before March 31st. I think the contests are going to end on the 25th, but I'm not 100% on that, to be honest with you. I could pull up a spreadsheet and get that answer, but I did not today because we were live for 4 hours hanging out, having fun in the metaverse earlier today.
It is an alpha release. Samuth on YouTube says, how many alpha 2 passes being given out each week in these Twitter contests?
Sure. So I'm going to give you the softer answer because we have some that are reserved for the raffle as well, right? But mathematically speaking, if we assume that the raffle and each week of the contest have an equal portion, which is not truly the case. It's a little bit different than this, but I don't have that, once again, that spreadsheet up on a screen right now to tell you the exact number. But if we assume 10,000 passes have to be given away, and we've got just 4 weeks to do it, then between the raffles and the contests and the streams like this one, we're doing 2,500 passes a week here. So there's going to be, of course, this week is a shorter week, so there's fewer passes distributed. But between this Thursday, today, and next Thursday, there will be 2,500 passes on average that are given away. It may be more than that if, let's say, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the spreadsheet looked like because it's been a couple of weeks since I looked at this. I just kind of pulled it up. I tried to find it yesterday. It's buried in my emails. Like, we got so much going on trying to prep for you guys. But let's say maybe there's another scenario where the very last week is just a week where we want you guys to redeem them. So maybe we don't do social contests on the last week. And forgive me for not knowing this solidly, but that would mean we would do 3,300 for the first 3 weeks, and the last week, there's none, or, the last 100 or whatever maybe those go to staff or ambassadors as a thank you or something like that. You never know. But loads of them. Right? Mathematically, there's just got to be a lot of winners. So we're super excited to see you guys winning and ready to give them all away. We will do one on this live stream. We had a winner earlier today who's joining us in the chat over on Twitch, which is, who was that? It was Icy the Ice, right? They had won. So Ross Guru says, how many passes are in the raffle? So once again, that kind of goes back to what I said before. I don't have the number that I can pull up off the spreadsheet. I think it was, basically a fourth of all the passes are in the raffle itself. And then some of the others are in the social contests and all that sort of thing. So the important thing to note is that, as I mentioned on a stream a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was just a week ago, time's flying when we're having fun, is that all of these submissions, all these different types of ways to win, are all being filtered back down through one central person in our company at the end of the day. So we've got the social team is working on one, the stream teams are working on some other piles, right? We've got this rewards page here, and they all go back to a lovely gentleman named Max. All right. And Max has got the spreadsheet to make sure that an individual can only win one. So that's critical. It's essential. So you can win one, and it increases your chances of winning one. And we've got all these other ways, like the new contest page. While it is, some people are experiencing some hiccups today. This also makes it so that it's more likely that an individual gets one and you don't have, because people were talking about how do we have bot prevention. This is one of those ways. So.
Right. And then we got random question. I know you can make 2D photos into an NFT, but what about a 360 photo?
So couple of things, actually. This is a great question because it talks about future features. In the future, videos, possible, usable, playable in the metaverse. Animated GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call it. Those are possible in the metaverse. You've got, obviously we already have some 3D assets. You've seen them inside the sandbox right now. If I'm chilling out in the social hub, let's all jump off of here and do a little pile, right? So all of these assets are created. They could be NFTs. Maybe you minted this giant structure right here as an NFT, right? The Caravan Scientist pillar. We could possibly view it in the marketplace, and it is for sale. There's only one left. One for sale. Hey, 2 were ever minted. And you can buy it right now as an NFT and show it off in your space. So you've got that, of course. But you're probably familiar with that. You know VoxEdit. So as we think about those things, 3D assets could be displayed in a 2D profile if you had a video or an animated GIF or GIF playing. And those features are essential features as we continue to get new and amazing partners like the Warner Music Group or Snoop, as they're wanting to use that. You got DJ Blondish, Deadmau5, maybe they're wanting to use that in their spaces. Heck, Chef Gordon Ramsay, who's a partner with Hell's Kitchen here, maybe they want to use some of that, video board sort of space to show off 3D things. And I've seen people in the test use those 3D displays in the same way that you see like those really cool video boards in like Korea or Japan, where they're on like a street corner, and as you walk around the corner, it looks like you're getting that like full 3D experience, maybe like somebody was in the water or something. So a lot of cool stuff going on there.
Alrighty. Moving on though. Hello, I'm trying to create my account, but the page doesn't work. It doesn't register or sign in. I'm the only one. Refresh that page, my friend. Clear that cache. Don't forget, it is 8 alpha, and things are going to have some hiccups as we update them and get some hot fixes put in. And we're going to make sure to get this all figured out.
If you're having issues with first-time registration, what I would recommend you do is avoid all the noise, right? Go to your homepage, and in the top right where it says sign in, do sign in with MetaMask, which is the option that'll be on the right. I can't show you right now because I am signed in, but on the right side, you'll see that little like fox face. And if you're not already using the MetaMask wallet, just install it in your web browser and use that by default. Unless, of course, you have crypto in one of the other platforms. If you already have crypto in Venly, or you have crypto in your Bitski wallet, and you'd prefer to use those, absolutely. But if you sign in with MetaMask, then it's just going to ask you, hey, add your username, add your email, and you're done. You're good. It works.
Chihanzo says, what's memorabilia?
What is memorabilia? Memorabilia is collectible items that we look fondly upon. You know what I mean? Like the Season 1 Alpha Pass. That's memorabilia.
That's not going to go away.
It's not. It's there forever on the blockchain.
Okay. Continuing on once again, because there's so many questions.
It's good.
What is your favorite dance?
What's my favorite dance? My favorite dance.
I mean, I would see you default to hip hop.
Like I do like the hop because it reminds me of that like Gangnam Style, you know.
Right.
Like I'm there. You can see all the moves, right? Look at that. Look at that. Oh. You know, I am partial to the hip hop, but I also like the kind of a need to re-roll the dance until you get this one. I'm not changing a thing. You're dancing the breaking. Because a lot of people do this, right? They'll be in there. You can only get the break dance by rolling through the dances until you get the break dance. You got to get that RNG, right? So I like that. How do we dance in the sandbox? Relevant question. Just popped in right now. You can hold the T key on your keyboard if you have a QWERTY keyboard, key W-E-R-T-Y. And then you can do the emotes on this emote wheel here. If you don't have a QWERTY keyboard, it's the 5th key from the upper left on your keyboard. Under the number 5.
Over on YouTube, we did touch down on why the doggies can't be used quite yet. They are planned for the future alphas and the
part of this
rest
one
of the content going forward.
Yes. So you will have an option to do that before the end of this alpha. The point of alphas is, of course, to add new features, test new things, and that'll be part of this test. So we're not there yet, but coming in soon.
Right. We're in season 2. Almost there. Okay, I've noticed that that you can enter the raffle on the 31st, and then you can claim your reward if you win on the 1st. Yeah. However, I'm leaving town on the 31st, so my question is, how long will I be able to claim that reward after the raffle ends?
You know, that's a really clutch question that, quite honestly, I don't have the answer to. You're the first person to ask today. I think that it's going to be for a while after, because that page, the rewards tab for the alpha page, as of yesterday, this rewards tab still said alpha season 1 and still had the claim for alpha season 1 up. So if it's like that again, then it's going to be all the way until season 3. But I can get you a better and a real answer for that before this time tomorrow, I think. Razul Elder says, is the internet leaving town with you? That's a funny joke. I appreciate that joke. One thing to note is you would be able to claim using the MetaMask app on your phone. If you, recover your wallet into the MetaMask app on your phone, recover, like essentially having 2 points of contact there, you'd be able to claim it there too.
I'm just trying to get some more questions down. So many of them today, folks. Scrolling back up. Will Army Galactic on YouTube says, will Sandbox offer casinos? And
will we offer casinos directly? No.
And along the same note, to answer a question from much earlier, we are not the founders.
Not the founders,
just
dude.
Enthusiasts. We're just here for a good time and the culture, and to make sure that you guys get some questions answered. Don't worry,
but
we're getting through them.
I want to go back to that casino question.
Yes.
We have subsystems that are being built to make it possible for you to do that, but we won't do that. So there's a lot of little things that you need to do. If you don't know how complex it is to get local authorities with regards to casinos to approve your stuff, the arcade, for folks living in the US, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. Maybe the international community relates. The arcade company Chuck E. Cheese has to file forms for gambling in order for people to play arcade games. So you would think, like, the claw machine, not a big deal, but you need a special gambling permit in much of the United States in order to do that. And this is going to be the same case all over the world, where you're going to have this, these different litigious reasons why we have to be careful and do it in a very particular way and have certain permissions in place. So the fact that right now in the Game Maker, we can't have a pop-up, I mean, you kind of can, but a specific age gate that says, if you're not 18, you can't be here, that is a restriction as to why we can't have a casino reasonably. So.
Right. Okay. How do I connect my Twitter to the Sandbox web? Says Elite.
Sure. So what I recommend to do, this is the steps that I took, is I went over to twitter.com first and made sure I was signed in. And you can see I was signed in here as we went over and checked out Meta Verified. 20+ notifications. You guys are wild, dude. You guys are wild. I just checked this before we got started. There's a lot going on. People are hype about this alpha, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love seeing the screenshots of the ducks, all that stuff. But we're logged in over here on Twitter. I go back to the page, I go to the contests, and once again, you don't want to do this really fast, because I saw somebody say that they got restricted. Like Twitter did anti-DDoS things because they were trying too often, too fast. But I was on here, I clicked login or link, and it did a little pop-up that takes up most of the size of this screen. And I approved for access this app on my app, or on my Twitter, right? And then I was here and I clicked participate, and I uploaded the picture that it requests, and I just hit go because it already fills out all the rest.
Very good. And then on Mac, Sandbox Alpha the Sandbox Alpha website button, I get the message your device is not compatible.
Sure. Okay. Can you send specifics on Discord for what type of device you're using, or like what are your stats?
Might need some system updates there. Might need a better Mac, a little stronger hardware.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that, so when we tested this internally, we tested it with a couple different versions of Macs, including the M1 version. I saw a user in the chat earlier reporting that it didn't work when they were trying to load it on their device, and then they used a side loading software to put a Windows emulation in there, and it worked fine, even in the same computer. So it may be just that maybe you need an update to your OS X or whatever version they're on now. Forgive me, I don't use a Mac personally. But get updated to the latest version of your system software, because we did use it on the latest version in the Macs that we tested. And we did also test it on the M1 new microprocessor that they're using for some of our testing.
Okay. And and why does Alpha Season 1 have more sand compared to Season 2?
Sure. Well, the first, I know. Like PLAC ETH is laughing at me for saying OS X. That's how long, no offense, I have not used a Mac. I've been in my own world out here. Like, I upgraded to Windows 11 the day that it came out of beta, but I'm like, OS X, yeah, I know, it's from like 2005 or something nonsense, right? But,
right.
So now I lost myself, Conrad. What did you just say 2 seconds ago?
Why does the Alpha 1 have more rewards, basically, than Alpha 2 here?
Oh, well, it doesn't, in fact. So, of course, the perception, of course, is going to be there, but in Alpha Season 1, we had a total prize pool for an individual. You were getting 1,000 sand guaranteed, right? Now, different here in Alpha Season 2, we instead doubled the number of passes. So instead of giving away 1,000 sand to 5,000 people, we're giving away a guaranteed, assuming you complete your quests, 500 sand to 10,000 people. So it's the same amount of sand in the total pool, but a different number of users that are allowed to play to earn, right? Now, you can see on this screen that there's also a community booster option. So essentially, this is us making sure that we are sticking with the plan of what in the crypto space you call tokenomics, in that we don't want to put so much new supply into the system that it causes an inflation that makes the token worth less over time, right? That's, it's fairly sophisticated, if we get into the weeds of it. But with the community booster, we are guaranteeing that users who want to work together, that want to contribute to the staking pool on the website here at sandbox.game, stake that sand, thereby essentially locking it away and you can pull it out whenever you want, but we all want to work together basically for the duration of this alpha, for the 28 days. We all stake together. I'm staked to the degree right now of 14,500 plus sand. I've got it staked as part of this community booster. So we're all working together, and if we get this to 100% before the end of the alpha, which is relatively speaking, should be easy. We're going to have a couple opportunities to compound our stake and do these other things once a week or so. And then new stakers are going to come into the space. We all work together, and it's actually going to double the amount of sand. If we get to 100%, you don't just get the 500 for the individuals, but you once again would get the 1,000 for all the individuals. So we would be giving away twice the amount of sand from the reserve. And if you want more details on the tokenomics of the sandbox and kind of how all that works and where the decision making comes from, check it out. My favorite resource to recommend is I type Binance Research the Sandbox in Google, and it'll pull up the Binance Research article that we released in August 2020, and you can look at the details there.
Moving on, when does the Alpha Season 2 get over? I just saw that question come up again, yeah.
Sure, okay. Yeah, I just see it right there. So Alpha Season 2 ends Raffle Day. essentially. So March 31st is the last day of the alpha. We have scheduled content. If you go to the play section over here, you can look at all of these spaces on the map, and they'll each have a different release date for different kinds of content. And so all of those different release dates kind of represent as we get closer to the end. April 1st will be the day that we can redeem our sand as a celebration of, hey, the alpha has ended. Like, let's all celebrate. Let's collect our sand. Thank you for playing. Thank you for having a good time and winning those, NFTs that we're doing. So,
and if you're just joining us, you can always download the Sandbox right now and hop on over and join us. You don't have to have the pass to play right now. You can earn some tickets and do some quests and potentially get your actual Alpha Season 2 pass.
Mm-hmm.
And when will we see Game Maker come to Mac OS? This is Time Machine Gaming.
I can't give you an official date on that, but I can say soon, like real soon.
There we go.
So we talked about this on the live stream a little while ago. We have multiple different Mac updates to the Game Maker, integrating it with this update and then taking it into the version 0.7 update as well. So there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes. And once again, for everybody having issues with the Twitter daily contest, don't worry. Refresh your page, clear that cache. If there's any other internal issues, they are being worked on.
Yep.
If there's other things happening that are concerning, stuff's getting fixed.
Sparky Snickle just made a good point in the chat, and forgive me for interrupting you, Conrad, there, but
no worries.
He says change the tweet text.
Oh yeah,
as well,
because that way it doesn't register the same spam, right?
Exactly. It may be that Twitter is interpreting it as spam because there's so many people so hype coming from essentially the same central source from our server out to there. So change the tweet text a little bit.
GSF Reaper asks, when or would we be able to see all the maps in the final version?
Yes. So as things continue to unlock, it doesn't go backwards and lock the things up, right? So as we go here, all these, when they do release, they just stay open. So let's say that tomorrow you don't have time, you can't be here, you're not here on the live stream, and you can't play the Hidden Village tomorrow. That's okay. No worries. You come back the next day, you complete the quests, and you get yourself closer to getting that reward. Another thing to note is that the raffle tickets, right? If you earn them, they're just going to continue to be kind of rolled in your pool of tickets. So if it's just me and Conrad, and we're the only people who played in this alpha, and I've got my 321 tickets, and he's got his 321 tickets, how it kind of works is maybe he's number 1 through 320. That's his 321 tickets. And then I'm number 321 through, 641. Or 640 or something, whatever the math is on that. And so that number rolls, it's from my pool or it's from his pool, he's the winner, and so on. And that's kind of how that'll continue to be. Each and every day, the spreadsheet kind of gets reworked to make sure that your portion is kind of bundled together, from my understanding. And so it'll do that. Now the question came in, what is memorabilia? The memorabilia is itself an NFT as well, because user feedback was, well, there's no NFT in this alpha. So when we looked at it, it was like, okay, well, let's make that adjustment. Let's get an NFT in that space. Some piece of memorabilia you can take with you that's not just the Alpha Season 2 pass.
It's going to be a collectible.
Yeah.
Got this.
Do I need ETH in my wallet to play? I'm seeing this right now, so I want to hit it up right now. Harrison, JNR, you don't need it to play inherently. You can play completely for free. You might want ETH on that wallet if you, and you don't have to add it now, but let's say you are playing and you're earning the raffle tickets and you do win. Well, if you do win, then you may want to claim your rewards on April 1st, or you may want to claim the Alpha Pass into that account so that you can claim your rewards. So you'll need some Ethereum in that wallet in order to process those transactions on the blockchain to get that NFT minted directly to you. So if that is the case, then just keep that in mind.
Okay. Now moving back on.
Yeah.
Once again, I completed collecting the voxelite and came back to the hub later, and it gives me the tasks over again. Is this normal? Same with the 4 points of interest quests. It says 9A, 7A.
Yes, that is normal. So the way that the system works is you can see on this page, and if I go back to play, it says I've completed 3 out of 10 quests. And if I'm looking at each individual space, I've got the portal hub, that's 1 of 2 quests. I've got the alpha lobby hub, it says 2 out of 2 quests, right? So it is accounting for the individual quests having been done. So I know, and you know, it's good to keep track of it. I suppose if you go to tomorrow's quests and you know you've got 11, keep track that you finished 11 maybe before you leave, or remember which ones you didn't finish so that you can get that progress going. In the portal hub, I completed the essentially color by numbers kind of puzzle that was going on there, but I didn't go pick up all the voxelite. So I could go do the voxelite, but every time you reload the instance, and it doesn't matter if it's a single player game or a multiplayer experience, the quests reset visually. But in terms of did it record to your account, you'll see it on the website. You'll see it when you're in the game. Right now I can see I've got 3 out of 10. So I can go over here and I'm going to complete this in the portal hub as we're talking about it here. But I'm going to complete that so that you can see that it ticks to 4 out of 10. But if I went back and I redid the color by numbers, it's not going to tick. It's not going to count.
Right. And Joe, does the liquidity pool staking count for tickets as well?
It does not. It's important to understand it only does it from the mSand Direct pool. And you can kind of see that on the page because it's the only one that has this community booster label, the gold ticket label right next to it. If the other ones did, they would also have their own little gold. You can see as I maximize that, there's nothing to signify that. So, you know, it's at your discretion, of course. They do have different APR rates. So if your interest is collecting more sand and you don't want to leave the mSand Matic pool, or you like the Ethereum mainnet pool that you were in and you don't want to remove out of that, your choice, up to you. But mSand Direct, I personally really like this pool because it's just really convenient to restake in this pool. You stake directly mSand. You don't have to worry about what the price is of sand versus Matic on any given day or anything like that. If you're thinking about, am I earning and making money or whatnot? I stake sand once every 7 days. I can claim the earnings. I can deposit them 2 clicks, like less than a penny. And I've got compounding interest. I really like the platform. So I'm okay with the lower APR for those reasons. But also, I put everything that I had for sand-wise in this pool because another question came in that I want to address, where they said, once I do more than 400 M sand, is there any point in doing more than that? And if you want to contribute to the community staking score, then that's the point of doing more. So if the community staking score is doing this community booster right here, where we're at 2% right now, the total rewards will go up. The sand boosted sand rewards will go up based on this community booster. So we're trying to, as a community, all work together. You and me, we get our 500 sand from doing all our quests. You can double that amount for the end of the season for everybody if we get to 100%. So that's
now, Joe.
Yes, sir.
This was a serious question, but I'm gonna word it a little differently.
Okay.
When beta?
When beta? 1.0. You know what I mean? 1.0.
Right.
Version 0.7 update is coming up soon-ish. Soonish. Yeah, soon is a really relative term, I guess. I've been here for a while now. But
yes,
pretty soon. Huge update. Loads of stuff going on.
We do have Dolo Genesis calling you out on that. You've been saying soon for months.
Soon TM. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The interesting thing is, so let's give a juxtaposition. Let's go back and forth on this. So imagine, if you will, a huge multinational company approaches you and they say, hey, we're a huge multinational company. We would like to be partners with you. We want to see this feature, this feature, this feature, and this feature. And we're going to invest in the sandbox. We're going to make sure you can hire 50 more people, and we're going to give you $5 million right now. Would you do it? Would you make sure the feature set goes out? From our side, yes, but also, where do we have to set limits and say, okay, you have to wait for such a time? Not as a user, but you as a multinational corporation have to wait for this feature. So we've got, with the Warner Media thing, it's like, okay, do we push the video forward? Do we make sure that the audio cues are possible in different respects, custom uploads and that sort of stuff? That's important. Community says, I want a search feature in my game creation software, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, that's important. And so we get all these features. We get the feedback from you guys. We get the feedback from the companies that want to step in and kind of take us to the next level all together as a community. And we put those together and go, what does a version 0.7 look like? And how long is that going to take? And then you take that to the developers. These folks, among the 150 of us, that's about 50 or so, I think, that are working across the different platforms, maybe more. Or 200, I can't remember exactly how many employees, maybe there's 200. Regardless, you say, okay, the multinational company wants this, the community wants this, I want this. How long is it going to take? And they say, okay, you know what? We can do this, then this, and this. And we can't do that or that. It's going to take too long, but we can get it done and then issue it out to the fans, right? So, when you talk about like the feature where you could have parent-child relationships be copyable, that is a huge additive of lag to a game, essentially, because people will go, okay, cool, now that I can copy paste, I'm going to go boop, 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 and make like the most complex, non-script script possible. So how do we optimize that so it works well at the same time as being possible for you to do that? So these are things that we have to do as devs, and that's going to take a long time to do. But so when I say soon, relatively, I'm saying I've already seen what it looks like. It looks good. It feels good. Now we get it to a test like this, and then you guys, your 2 million users, come through and you test it, and you go like, this needs this work, needs that work, needs that work. So we take our tests, we send it to the quality assurance people. Quality assurance people, there's about 100 or so of those, send it back to us from an external company, and they're like, this doesn't work, this does work sometimes, this is a bad idea, this looks bad, right? And then we go redo it over. So anyway, long explanation.
Lose. And finally, so Nathan on YouTube and little Nori can stop losing their mind over this one. What are the restrictions for publishing assets in the future? How kid-friendly will it be before someone gets banned for publishing an inappropriate asset? Sort of like Second Life, there is so much nudity.
Sure. So that's an interesting question, because there's two different ways or avenues of approach. First of all, you look at the way that the sandbox is visually, and it wouldn't be easy to make nudity or like something significantly inappropriate with regards to that. And then you look at, let's just, because I live in America, let's compare American sensibilities with somebody from Morocco. Right? Somebody who, in Morocco, they walk around the beach, doesn't really matter what you're wearing, if you're wearing anything at all. They don't care. In America, it's like, whoa, hold up. What are you doing? You know what I mean? It's inappropriate. Right. So you talk about the cultural differences, but critically, in almost every country in the world, if you want to sign up for a Web3 wallet, a MetaMask account, right? You got to be 18 years old to do that. You got to be an adult. Whatever the localized adult age is. Some countries, I think it's 21. So you have to be of age to participate in the sandbox at all. And with that in mind, is it inappropriate? and this is something for the community at large to decide, is it inappropriate to have those elements in games? Is it inappropriate to have gambling? Is it inappropriate to have violence or nudity or any of that sort of stuff? These are things to consider when you're thinking about that. Of course, visually, people they look at this, they say, oh, well, this looks like Minecraft, or whatever, right? That's a kid's game. But in reality, nothing that has been designed so far has been designed with kids in mind. You haven't seen a single game that's been submitted with the Game Jam that's been like, this is for children. However, some of our partners, you absolutely may associate those things with children, like the Care Bears. You don't necessarily look at Care Bears and go, hey, this is an adult theme thing. Some of our other partners, though, like Hack the Tau, that's working in the Game Maker Fund, their art is inherently adult. Their art that it's based on inherently has nudity. So how do we balance that as a community? And that's where we talk about, back to the point of casinos, you have to use your discretion. You have to implement tools over time that can...
I'm with Cosmogrog here. Aren't the Care Bears nude?
Aren't the Care Bears nude? I mean, technically, but
that
like
example,
everybody but humans is. You know what I mean? Everybody but humans is just existing out here. So, all right.
Regardless, as we move forward, folks, don't forget there's a ton of questions. We're not going to be able to answer them all. We're trying to get to them.
We're going to be streaming every day, every weekday during the alpha. So lots of opportunity to ask.
As we continue on, it's coming down to the hour here already. I'm not sure if you're seeing that, Joe.
You know, Conrad, I agree. I hear what you're saying, but what are you trying to say?
Contest to do.
Oh,
is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, this guy. I'm
actually, believe it or not, chat. Believe it or not, Joe. I'm feeling fine. I haven't had a full meal in 5 days. I was on an IV for 4 of those.
Oh my goodness!
Today I'm doing great.
He's hyped.
I got my little unicorn band-aid, and my bruises are all done up, and I'm doing good now. I got my water. We're fine. Let's do a contest, folks.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear that you're feeling good. You're feeling fresh for the alpha. You know, this is going to be our 3rd giveaway today. I got to make a form that has a parenthesis 3 on it, because we streamed twice earlier today. We did one giveaway at about 8 in the morning, my local time, just about an hour after this opened, or you know, we were deploying even still. We hadn't even fully opened, and we did a giveaway where somebody won an alpha pass. The second time, somebody won a Wizzy the Green hat. That's an NFT they could wear inside the Sandbox game. Starting tomorrow.
Seriously, Hanzo. Seriously.
Tomorrow, we're going to do 3 giveaways on one stream, on this stream right here. 2 alpha passes and 1 Wizzy hat on this stream. So be there for it. Don't miss it. But for now, I got to make sure this form is distinct and obvious for me. So it's going to say, good morning, afternoon, evening, 3-3. I got responses enabled. I'm clicking send. I'm copying. We're shortening URLs. Here we go, folks. It's coming out in the chat right now. So don't miss it. Over on YouTube, over on Twitch, and over on Facebook.com.
Things are about to get crazy in the chat. Don't forget,
it's
folks,
literally
these questions
just flying by. It's
going to be hard for us to catch questions right at this time. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to go on to some of the other ones while we move on.
I'm going to paste the form a couple different times for you guys because I see the chat's blowing up. The chat's excited. The chat is hyped.
We have some folks that need to reconnect their Twitter accounts or try and figure out a way to go around the issue of trying to post so many times they got banned out. Yeah. For instance, our good friend Soul Cancer got his Twitter account locked out from the contest tab and won't be unlocked for a week.
Woo!
What are we supposed to do there?
So, I have no idea. Wait a week? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. That's
get some better answers for all of the Twitter contest delays. Don't worry.
The question is going to be, just to be clear, is Twitter the source that restricted you? If so, it would be a Twitter support question. Is it the form software that restricted you? In which case, then it's us contacting them and trying to figure out how that works. Or is it our website with DDoS protection denying you? In which case, you probably would already know that answer. So it's probably not that one. because you would already not be able to access the website. You can go to the site, you can go to the page. So it's either Twitter itself saying, hey, what the heck, you know, or the alternative. But to be honest with you, you know, it worked. Unfortunately, it worked perfectly for me as soon as I started this stream. If I ran into a trouble, then I could have helped you troubleshoot it better, because I would have just been like, okay, this is how I fixed it, right? So some users in the chat recommended that before you get that far,
tomorrow we'll try and do mine as well. So
there we go. Okay, that's great.
Example.
That's good.
But some users in the chat, as you were saying, sorry.
Users in the chat, critical. They said as soon as they changed the wording on it, they didn't just use the default wording, which I did. The default wording worked for me, but when they didn't use the default wording, it worked right away. So it may just be, you know, Noah and Mar asks, when will the stream for tomorrow be? Same time. This time right here starts. My time local is 6 p.m. We start that little pre-show, pre-screen going on. It will continue all throughout the alpha at this time block. If you can't make this time block regularly, maybe it's 3 a.m. where you are, and you're like, hey, I got to work, Joe. What's going on? You can join us Saturdays, early morning. Alex and I do a live stream there. Mondays, early. PandaPops does a live stream on this channel as well. So just follow the page, follow the channel, right. You know, subscribe, whatever platform you're on.
Get the update. And Byron Wilson, don't worry. I see you. You're actually the next question here.
Very good.
Why can't I use my doggy? Why was that not clarified?
Oh, yes.
How do we complete quests if our avatars don't work? But we get a default avatar no matter what.
Yep.
Like some of these other folks here. And the doggies, unfortunately, will be implemented in later seasons of the alpha.
Oh, later this season. Later this season.
So later this month?
So yeah, like weeks, like less than a month.
There we go.
So you will be able to use your doggies this season, but it's actually part of this test specifically. So again, we go back to what does alpha mean? Definitively, an alpha means that a product is being updated, upgraded, changed regularly. Right. So we're actively testing that together as a community. We're all going to be doing that. As soon as it's possible for that to work in the system, we'll be talking about it here. We'll be sharing about it here. And you'll see it. You'll know how to make it work. But essentially, if I was to speculate a little bit here, you go into your avatar section on the website, and you would change it to an NFT avatar that you own, right? So it's not on the left.
Keeping my Speedo.
In terms
I'm
of
with the community on that one.
There we go. Keep the Speedo. Keep the Speedo. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want. So in terms of what you can do right now, of course, you can select any one of these pre-designed avatars, or you can go customize your avatar. So I could go to the head. I could change the head if I want to. If it's got custom color options, you got skin tone options, you got custom colors options. If the item supports custom color changes, then you could change it there. Make it what you want. And then jump back into the metaverse, because you don't have to use your doggy in order to participate in the alpha. And as soon as it's available, you can absolutely use it. We also have other interpretations coming in, like the artifact assets. So if you own an artifact NFT, one of the Clone X NFTs, then part of that 20K project, you'll be able to put those assets in as avatars as well. Maybe not. I can't remember if that makes it through into this alpha or not. I forget. But nonetheless, this is exactly what we're here for, is to make these things possible, to test them and put them into the game.
Sadar says, wow, I was wrong. Speedos are cool. That's
there
right.
It is. There it is.
Put them on, guys. And don't worry, it's actually my favorite, because you can make them red and then make your skin tone red and have a wonderful time running around in the sandbox.
There you go.
Good time with everybody.
I saw somebody do that.
You get that little Nori experience, right?
There we go. Yeah, I saw somebody do that earlier on my morning stream. There was somebody who did that with the Speedo, but instead of doing it red, they made their whole body like the stone gray. So they were just like a dancing statue next to me. And it was awesome. I love to see that kind of stuff.
But as I move on to the final question here, I know we didn't get to everybody, guys. There's going to be so many more questions. I'm going to try and save some of these key questions that are very important for the next stream. Like, for instance, why is the Sandbox okay with doing raffles for alpha passes and not for land sales?
That's an interesting question. And I like that.
You could do daily contests for land sales. That's from Boris Play on YouTube, I believe.
That's an interesting question. I appreciate that. So when we talk about the measures for the raffle, we put in a bunch of new anti-bot measures to make that possible. We tried to do a lottery type system for the land sales, but we had at that time fewer measures in place than we do today. So it's a very interesting point that I essentially can't answer at all, but I really appreciate that, and I'm going to forward that into the Slack and see if we'll give it another shot, because we know
something. Yes, right. That's been attempted before.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it was just a bit too messy, and it's like we're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's going to be messy no matter what, right?
Yeah, and I think to that point, like when we think about what a raffle is, if we put everybody in a lobby, let's say everybody's getting ready for the land sale. We got 5, 10, 15,000 people waiting to get lands. There's only 500 lands to give away. We put you in, we jumble you all up, and then at the end of that land sale, somebody, an individual, sends, we try to avoid this as much as possible, but let's say they send 4 lands total, end up going and piling into one wallet. And you go like, well, obviously that person didn't. Well, okay, the perception is that it's obvious that that person didn't do it fair. But you also can't prove that they weren't logged in, their wife wasn't logged in, their grandfather wasn't logged in, their mom didn't log in.
Yeah,
in my family, myself, my wife, my father, my mother, we're all into crypto. My wife's father is into crypto. So if all of those people, like let's say you live in the Philippines where this is a normal living condition, right? Everybody's together in the same house. Is it fair to go like, well, that was obviously cheating? Or do you go like, well, maybe they put it all in one wallet so that they could develop with the same game maker because there's certain restrictions. So we have to implement those securities. And then at the same time, we have to use discretion and go like, well, that's not unreasonable that somebody could have a certain number of lands, right? So yeah, to your point, I saw in the chat, like somebody was able to pick up 10 lands in the first come, first serve model in the last sale. But to a certain extent, do we look at that and go, it's unlikely, but I could say I could at least click through probably 4 lands if I had like a really good internet connection and go and do it fast. And I know that there are people who are better at this game than I am. So is it reasonable to say that they're better at being able to purchase these assets than I am? Could they do it faster than me? Maybe. So yeah, you have to, we go and we balance and we make changes and adjustments. We changed the smart contract in the last land sale. And I think also in this one that we did today. So when people were talking about, well, it doesn't work immediately, and like, this is our 10th or millionth land sale or whatever it is, we got to keep in mind that we are making these changes as anti-bot measures that sometimes makes delays for the rollout on like 0 time, like when it was time for our land sale to start. So in order to make it less likely that bots are buying those things up, we have to make these delays. To the point of the raffle, is it better? Or do you get more time for more bots to prepare? I don't know. Because you were not able to, you can kind of update the smart contract and do that stuff, but you can't necessarily update a raffle entry to make sure that it's anti-bot once the lobby is open, right?
There's definitely no way to make it, 100% perfect for everybody.
Right.
Which is the really difficult part. And trying to make everyone happy is not going to happen. And right now, I agree. Getting lands is kind of a bummer right now.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's worth holding on to. There's so many land sales still coming that it's worth just holding the sand and giving it another shot. I had users who were in our chat after talking about this. We talked about like the 5 steps that I recommend for people to get. And that very next land sale, I had 3 people on Twitter who specifically tagged me and said, "Thank you for giving me that tutorial on how to do that. I actually got land because of doing what you said, even though there's a lot of people doing it." So
I just want to point out I'm dying over here because I am still a little loopy and whatnot, folks. And Cosmogrog in the chat said retinal scans. That's what we need.
Yes.
I
yes.
read that as rectal.
Oh,
So-
wow. Well, I got to say, GAT Control. All right, GAT Control in the chat makes a suggestion. And maybe this is, I mean, obviously this is all hyperbole and it's fun. But DNA tests to prove the right to mint. All right. All right.
All the way.
I'm going to need your 21andMe. All right. No, I'm kidding. But that's, it's just one of those things, right? Where we try to do everything that we can do and every system has flaws. So like I imagine, I can almost guarantee that we're going to run into the same thing with the raffle that we're doing right now. I can almost guarantee that anybody who's in the chat who gets a ticket, they're going to be super happy. They're going to be like, yes, best system ever. Everybody who maybe doesn't get the season pass will go like, well, for this reason or that reason, it's not fair and whatnot, right? But, to go all the way back to a question that happened at the top of the show, this is not the last alpha we're going to have. This is certainly not the last play to earn season that we're going to have. So,
Right.
You're going to, maybe you don't get one with this alpha season, but you got to enjoy all the great content. So give us all your feedback. Give us all your feelings about this alpha. We're going to continue to adjust and adapt and make the sandbox better for you for alpha season 3, which is happening. When? Well, we'll find out later.
And as we get down to the end of our time,
23andMe. I like it. People are making fun of me because I said 21andMe, I think, when it's a 23andMe.
I mean, I thought you were making a chromosome joke, but
I don't know. Would I do that? I'm not that guy.
I don't know.
I'm not that guy.
I don't know.
I'm not that guy, pal.
I'm not that guy. Not that guy.
That's right.
Regardless, folks, let's go ahead and close out that contest and let's get our winner.
I did do that.
Out.
Candidly, Kristen submitted a really great idea that I was very interested in. And I think it's probably going to take longer to develop, but it's a really interesting and great idea. And that was an idea that they submitted for Game Jam winners to be able to get whitelisted for a land sale specifically. I thought that was a great idea. So we're kind of shopping the idea, and if it's going to work, I think it's going to be something that we have to accumulate a bunch of game jams, right? And in order to get enough people to kind of fill out an entire land sale. Now there's an alternative to that. There's the Candidly Kristen. If I can be candid with you, in some previous game jams, when people won the game jam, they also won a land.
Ooh.
So maybe, maybe we can start having some more winners that get lands. I think it depends sale to sale. So rather than just getting whitelisted to buy land, possibly they could earn one. So anyway.
Alrighty. What do we got?
Okay, so I did the random roll as we were all having a nice chat about it. We had 646 total responses. All right. Cosmo Grog says, once upon a time, more than 200 viewers. Look at me teasing you guys. More than 200 viewers equals a land giveaway. That's right. There was once upon a time on this live stream, if that number went over 200, then yes. Who is that lucky number?
At one point, you could buy a land for $20, so
that's
don't even worry about it.
Almost. I think it was like the intro price was 40% off of $48.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That was the very first land sale. And that was it was a good time. You know what I mean? But then eventually the sand token came out. The community said, peg it to sand. Make sure that $48 price is actually sand tokens. And $48 used to buy you 1,011 sand. That's how we came up with that number. That's going to be the way that it is forever. User number 409 on the form was rolled, and that is over on YouTube.com.
A YouTube winner today.
A YouTube winner.
Who do we got?
Username Dragon Styles 84. Dragon Styles over on YouTube. Now, of course, this is not the last time we're going to give away the alpha season passes. So if you can, be patient. Be specific. Enter in these contests over here on the website, sandbox.game. Don't try to spam it because Twitter might go, hey, hold up.
There's a lot of folks in the chat concerned that you didn't read the right name.
I'm sorry, what?
I know, right? You didn't read Steve Hobbs or Lead or Ugfist.
Oh, there it is. You're
Hanzo.
right. You're right. I forgot to read off every name in the chat. You know what I mean?
There we go.
There you go. Mr. Pixelot says the same thing. I pronounced their name wrong. That's crazy. Right. It's crazy. Listen, we got more opportunities to win, of course. We're going to do 2 Alpha Passes on tomorrow's live stream. It's a fun Friday. We're going to do a 3rd giveaway tomorrow that is for the Wizzy the Green hat once again. I did the Wizzy the Green hat earlier. If you want to be eligible for those things, don't be TR Dirty Dan, who says, that's it, I'm unfollowing now. Don't be that guy. You know what I mean? He's dirty. I'm Pinhead Larry, all right? Dirty Dan. Welcome back to the chat. He's a longtime viewer. Come back. Hang out. Same time. Read 1425 asks, what time is the stream? That is 6 p.m. my local time, 2 a.m. UTC. Convert it to your local time. Ivan Nunes believes that this game is rigged. You know what I mean? This game is rigged. This game's rigged. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is good intro music. It's not so good outro music.
I mean, it still just makes me want to jam, though. Oh, that's got a different feel to it, though.
All right, what's good? What you got, Conrad?
And the Christian says D-Live didn't win, so it's rigged. What? Thank you so much, everybody. If you have questions that didn't get answered today, make sure to save them and come at us a different day. We'll be doing lots of live streams here to help people out. And if you're having Twitter contest issues, once again, make sure you're clearing out that cache. Make sure you're refreshing those pages. And let's make sure everybody doesn't get banned on Twitter. So careful there on how many times you're submitting those things. Try and change the wording. But thank you again. Joe, go ahead and close this out.
How can you rig it to be so fun? Folks, hey, let's do the tradition here, all right? We got a lot of people watching. Maybe it's your first time watching over on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame. If you're not on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame, step over there real quick for me. We got 335 people. And the tradition on the Good Morning, Afternoon, Evening show is that at the end of the show, while we're breaking it down with the music, we are rating a streamer like you. So if you're currently one of the, looks like 8 people currently streaming the Sandbox game, I want to try to raid somebody new every day. And I'm seeing some people in here. Make sure that you are live streaming regularly. I'm seeing in the bottom left of my screen, I'm seeing Lena Cubed. I have no idea. Brand new streamer, never seen their name before. Let's bring all 338 people and everybody over on YouTube over to twitch.tv/NELACUBED. We're going to raid them right now.
Party.
We're going to hang out, have some fun. Right now, 292 people. Let's queue it up. Let's queue it up. A raid has been created. Let's blow it up with the Sand Fam here in the chat. Have a good time. And then we'll close it out with the little secrets that I talk about. Not really secrets, just my special love for YouTube, for Facebook, and Twitter here in just a second. All right, so we're getting ready to raid right now. Folks, once again, join us tomorrow. Same time, 6 p.m. my local time, 2 a.m. UTC. We're going to do more of this right now. Boom! Raids out. Lena Cube just exploded. All right, Lena Cube just got the world
crazy
in their space. All right, everybody, we're blowing it up. Blow up the chat, folks. Thanks for joining us here today, of course. YouTube, DLive, Theta, Facebook, twitter.com/thesandboxgame. We love you. Make sure you enter those competitions, those contests. Get your raffle tickets by playing the game. And we'll be back tomorrow talking about the all-new content. See you soon.
Let's do it.